Welcome to Plutus Project-Based Learning 2023 from Gimbal Labs. Thanks for taking a look at this video. The name of this module is Build Your First Transactions, and if you've ever used a wallet like Daedalus or Yoroi or Nami or Eternal or any other, you've probably built transactions before. Over the next few lessons, you'll start to understand what's happening behind the scenes in a wallet when you send ADA or other tokens on Cardano. To help us see what's happening when we build transactions on Cardano, we're going to use a tool called Cardano CLI that you initially set up in lesson 102.1. In this video, we will investigate how to create a wallet using Cardano CLI. We'll cover how to build a wallet with Cardano CLI, and then we'll see that building addresses for your Plutus contracts is very similar. You can follow along with the step-by-step instructions provided in the documentation below this video. Let's take each of these commands one at a time. The first thing we'll do is create a new directory to hold all the files that will be generated by Cardano CLI when we build a new wallet. I can create a new directory, and I'll call this one my pre-prod wallet. You can call the directory whatever you'd like. And then I'll cd into it, and I'll see that I have an empty directory. Then I can follow along with the steps, as shown in the documentation here. The first thing we'll do is we'll use Cardano CLI address keygen to generate this new pair of files. The command looks like this. I can copy it into my terminal and run it. As you can see, nothing happens, but if I run ls again, I now have these two files. And to look at what's inside these files, I can run cat, and I can type the name of the file. This is my payment skey file, and I also have a payment.vkey file. This file right here, my payment.skey file, is a private key. I should be just as careful with this file right here as I am with the mnemonic words that are generated when I create a new wallet in Daedalus or Eternal. The payment.vkey file is a public key, and I can share this file just like I share an address, publicly. The names of the files you see right here, payment.vkey and payment.skey, can be whatever you'd like them to be. But it's customary to use these file names, payment skey and payment vkey. And I just want to reiterate one more time. The skey is your private key or signing key, and the vkey is your public key. Next, we can generate a set of key files to handle staking credentials. The command looks like this. Let's copy it and run this one as well. I can run ls again. And now I can see that I've got my payment keys and my staking keys. When I build an address, it's optional to use the staking keys. And in this example, we will use the staking keys to generate an address. So how do we do that? Jumping back to the documentation, the last step is to run Cardano CLI address build. And notice what this command takes as inputs. It takes a payment verification key file, payment.vkey, and a stake verification key file, stake.vkey. We also have to specify the network we're using. And it's important to note that these key files can be used to generate addresses on any Cardano network. You can use the same vkey file to create a pre-prod address like we're doing here, or if you switch testnet magic to mainnet, you can create a mainnet address as well. Let's run this command. Copy and paste. Now we have a payment.address file as specified here, out file, payment.address. And if I cat that address, I can see a recognizable testnet address. Just to show you that this works without stake keys, let's only copy the first two lines of this command and the last one, but let's change the file name to payment without staking. And then I can see that that generates another new file. And I can look at that address as well. Payment without staking.address creates an address that looks like this. Without staking credentials, as you can see, the address is a little bit shorter. In any browser wallet, you'll see an address that's exactly this length because browser wallets create staking credentials for you. Just keep in mind that staking credentials are optional. Excellent. Now you have a new testnet address that we can use in the upcoming lessons. If you want to, you can run all 3 commands at once. You could simply copy and paste this entire code block right here, and all of these commands will run sequentially to generate a new wallet. How do we distinguish between the word wallet and the word address? Let's take one more look at the files we just created. We have an address file, and that's one part of building a wallet. But we also need a way to spend UTXOs from this address. And that's the role the private key file plays. You'll see this in action in lesson 102.3. Now that we've taken a quick look at how to build an address with Cardano CLI by using public keys, there's one more thing I want to show you. You can use the exact same command, Cardano CLI address build, to build a contract address. Let's take a look at how that works. I'll change directories out of my new wallet directory. And in the PPBL 2023 Plutus template, there's a directory of compiled Plutus scripts. Here we have the 3 always succeeds Plutus scripts that we created in module 101. You can use any of these, as shown in the documentation here. I'll just try to run this first one. Once again, copy and paste, and you can see an address. Now, a few things to notice. This address is a contract address and it doesn't have staking credentials associated with it. So you might notice that this is one of those shorter addresses that doesn't have the staking credentials. This command, Cardano CLI address build with payment script file and a Plutus file, can be used on any network. So try it for yourself. You can change testnet magic 1 to mainnet. Finally, for each of these addresses, as you can see in the documentation here, links are provided to investigate each address on Cardano Scan. I can see that this contract address, always succeeds, has a test ADA balance. In lesson 102.5, you will learn how to unlock UTXOs from this address right here. We just covered a lot in this video, and I hope you have questions. As always, please bring your questions to Plutus PBL Live Coding on Wednesdays and Thursdays, or ask questions in the Gimbal Labs Discord. In the next lesson, we will investigate how to use the address you just created to build a transaction using Cardano CLI. I can't wait. See you there.